My name Lottie. I met one guy through a high school friend. We went to the same college, but she lived in the dorms and I lived at home. She would invite me to visit her dorms. I met her friends. I got along with everyone great, but this one guy caught my eye right when I met him. We got along great, had the same sense of humor and interests, but we always hung out in group settings, so nothing happened right away. And then, in passing conversation, I heard that this guy had a long-distance girlfriend. It crushed me a little bit, but I decided it is what it is, and I didn't want to pursue this guy. I have cheated before and promised myself I'd never do anything like that again. That was the plan until my friend from high school threw a party. There was lots of liquor and weed, so you know how it is. Everyone was having fun, definitely, but we all got very wasted. Eventually the night winded down and he asked me if we wanted to share a bed. I agreed because sleeping space was limited and I was grateful I wasn't on the floor. But at the same time, of course, I was freaking out. One thing led to another and we slept together. It was a very emotional ordeal after that. For the sake of getting to the point, I'll keep it shorter, Basically, after another month of occasional hooking up, he asked me to be official with him. I was hesitant. He asked me before and we had conversations about my relationship problems. So he knew all my insecurities and all. He promised would work on them together and learn. I took these words at face value clearly because he showed me he was full of shit. But I said yes in a fuck it, why not kind of way. I was already pretty down on myself at this point and didn't practice self-respect. I knew this guy was most likely bad news. He already cheated on his GF for me. What kind of relationship could we build from that point? I didn't care. I was coasting on my intimacy addiction. About a week after he asked me, he texted me and told me he had hooked up with a friend of ours. He said, wanted to make sure that was okay. Since our agreement and all I could say was HUH. Agreement. The only thing like that we had discussed was potentially inviting another friend of ours into a three-way, since we were both attracted to her. But I admitted that idea made me very anxious and we agreed to put that idea on the back burner. Basically, this guy maybe accidentally cheated on me because of flawed communication, but I also knew this dude had manipulative ways and I saw them before in many social aspects. It took me a few days after he told me, but I broke up with him. I had talked to friends about it and they said I had to drop him before I allowed this to hurt me anymore. 'Cause this whole ordeal with this guy put me in a pretty shitty spot with my self-esteem. I started SHING after we slept together the first time. Not to blame me relapsing on him, of course, but the whole circumstance plus my regular overbearing depression put me in a very, very low spot. Basically, this guy now is seeing the girl he cheated on me with. At least that's what it looks like from their Insta stories. I had to unfollow both of them because it just made me too sad and mad to see. I recently learned from a mutual friend of ours that he had told the girl that me and him were in an open relationship. So that's how they ended up hooking up. That bewildered me because it's a flat-out lie. We had never agreed to anything like that. So I know now I really should have never given this guy a chance and that his streaks of lying are probably going to just continue. So my question is, should I tell this girl that he cheated? I don't even know if she knows because he's going around telling people we broke up because of distance and school. Is this just unhealthy rumination, and I should move on? Or should I be the hey girl, chick and tell her what happened?
I, 21 female, was cheated on by my BF, 22 male. A little backstory about me first though. I've been dealing with depression and lack of self-worth all of my life. My last few exes has also cheated on me. Here's the backstory before I get into everything. Back in April of 2023, my BF was friends with a girl. We'll call her Sally. Me and Sally have a mutual friend, Danny. Danny and Sally like each other and decide to get together, but during their short-lived relationship she was telling Danny how her and my BF had slept together a while back and he was now hitting her up again about wanting to hook up. Later on she says she was just lying. That ended her and Danny's relationship. Me and my BF decide to block her and he not be friends with her anymore. Fast forward to several days ago, my BF says his friends wants him to drop off some condoms to him. I knew deep down it was a lie, but I was just hoping he wasn't lying. I mean, our relationship had been going good. We rarely fought and I thought he was happy. Anyways, that day he goes to drop them off to his friend. I seen his location was at a different address. I was confused. His friend lives in apartments. My BF was at a whole fucking house. At this point, I knew he was cheating. I had a feeling it was Sally's house, but I wanted to be sure, so I saved the address and decided I'd take a look for myself. Fast forward to December 17th. I had to wait a couple days cause unfortunate things happened. But Danny sent me text messages between my BF and Sally. I would insert pics, but I can't. That day I have more than enough time to go check out the address, and I do. It's Sally's house. Has her name all over the mail. I text Sally and she talks about how my BF kissed her, but she'd been telling him she don't want to have sex with him. She says it's because he is small and says some other things about him I won't be sharing. She was just basically making fun of him. He may not have gotten lucky that day with her, but he still kissed her. His intentions were still to have sex. That's cheating in my eyes. On the way back home I confront my BF asking him doesn't his friend stay in apartments, then why he go to Sally's house. Of course he tries to lie. You know the lie he chose to say? I owed her some money. Now I'm against domestic violence, but it took everything in me to not just beat him up. I mean, technically I had broken up with him, so I don't think it would be considered domestic violence. That's actually one of the many things I regret. I should have hit him. He cheated. He hurt me. Why can't I hurt him back? Anyways, I moved all my stuff out and have been crying ever since. I couldn't even go train because I knew my performance would be shitty. Yesterday he admitted that he cheated and wanted to get back together. I was crying and didn't saying anything. I never did give him an official answer. So much has happened and there's a LL of these mixed emotions of hate and disgust that I'm still trying to process. Honestly, now every time I think about the whole situation I don't cry as much as I used to. I just feel so angry but also empty. For most of yesterday and today I've been wanting to KMS and him. I feel so much rage sometimes that my hands start to shake and the bad thoughts get so loud. I have to physically cover my ears and focus on breathing. The violent urges are so strong that I've been actually dreaming about killing myself and him, or sometimes just him. There's only two problems though. I'm Christian and in our religion we are forbidden to take our lives. It's an unforgivable sin. The second problem is that the last time I attempted, I got made fun of by one of my parents, so I need to make sure that I don't have a chance in coming back. Lately though, being worried about those two things have dropped significantly. I just don't care anymore. They start to sound more and more like excuses holding me back. I stayed over at his place last night. We didn't do anything. I just asked him a bunch of questions to which he truthfully answered. That night though I had nightmares about hurting him. Burning his place down with him in it. Chopping his head off and sending it to his family, etc. I woke in the middle of the night and just watched him sleep while I weighed the pros and cons. But the urge to KMS is just a tad bit stronger.